Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Julia McNeil Crafts. So today it's time for another Dawn and Julia Create. Once again we're doing mixed media. Both Dawn and I are loving our mixed media. So we are making something that I saw on Instagram by a lady called Geo Crafts. I will link to the particular video that inspired this in the description box below. But basically what she did was she took two canvases and she decorated the reverse of the canvas, and then she joined the two canvases together with a sort of fold out mini book. And I saw it and I just instantly knew I had to do it as a Dawn and Julia Create. So I sent Dawn the link of the little video so that she knew what I was on about. So all the brief is that we have to use two canvases, we have to join them together somehow as a mini book. It doesn't have to be done exactly like hers. At first I was sort of wondering whether I could get away with, I kind of fancy doing it a bit like that, with the mini book attaching into this bit so that I've got the reverse canvas at the front and then a book thing at the back. So I think I might attempt to do that. So we're to use canvases, we are to use the stencils from the Curious Wonders collection. So the Curious Wonders stencils with this one, Down the Rabbit Hole, Lollipop Florals and Curious Skies. We can use the Curious Wonders paper pad, and we can use any stamps from the Hattie's Clan collection. I'm going to pull all of that out later. I'm currently filming 2 or 3 things at the same time, but it's because I'm sort of on stages that need texture paste and whatnots like that. So I'm going to start off by sticking some texture onto this, and I've not pulled that out, so I'm just going to get it out. The other thing that we're allowed to do is to add any Alice in Wonderland themed embellishments that we have. So I've got a few that I've squirreled away and never got round to using, so I'm going to get them out now. I'll probably sort of stick all of that down now, but I'm just at this moment in time wanting to create texture, and then we'll let this dry. It's a bit slower than normal because I've got to sort of fit my knife into this. But I was wanting a slightly smaller canvas, and I went round the works today to try and find some, and they didn't have any. So I ended up getting these ones from B&M. I was still wanting it square, but I just wanted one that was slightly smaller. This is what I love about crafters sharing their work. I probably would never have really thought about this in a million years. I was so inspired by Geo's work that it was like, I'll have to give that a go. So it's absolutely fine to be inspired by work, but it is good to give credit as to where you got the inspiration from. So I'm going to pop that down there like that. Now, as I said, my idea might end up not working, and we might end up having to adapt as we go, but you don't know until you try. So we're going to try and see what happens. I pulled that up, so that's going to be my first layer of texture, and then I think I've got some Alice in Wonderland chipboards, which I will get out in a moment. So I think because I'm wanting to attempt to have the mini book coming from this will end up being the back and being decorated. So I'm going to go for the swirl again, but I'm going to put it on in various places rather than just in the centre. Try and create a bit more interest. I'm not going to put as much texture on this. This will sort of just be possibly the stencil work and the colour work, and maybe some embellishments of some sort. We will see. But I love this concept. I'm going to be trying it a few times, I think, for various projects. Right, let's get that on there. So this is the Pretty Gets Gritty texture paste that I'm using. It's fabulous. It's really white and it actually dries fairly quickly, which is always good because, you know, if you're anything like me, I get very impatient with the mixed media and want to you know, get on with it, but it doesn't always work. Right, so now I'm going to have to sort of bend this a little bit because I'm going to damage what I've already done, and I'm going to just pop this down here. So yeah, I am going to be having to leave this to dry, but I'm actually currently filming the last Dawn and Julia Create, so the one that was uploaded a fortnight ago, at the same time. And this is what I quite often do when it comes to mixed media, because you sort of got so many drying stages and things, that if you know you've got some mixed media projects in your head that you want to do, it's quite often good to sort of get everything out, get everything gessoed, get everything to a certain stage all at the same time, and you're not sort of force drying the ones that you're working on. And yeah, I just find it a good way of working. So that's me got a bit of texture on that, so I'm off to go and wash my stencil, and then I think I'll come back and we'll glue in some chipboards into this. I've got these fabulous snip arts that I've had for ages and squirreled away because it's all too nice to use, whatnot, yada yada yada, and yeah, I've never got round it to using, so I'm going to get some of these out. I don't think I'm going to go too mad at this stage because I've got some gorgeous bits and pieces that I think I can use. Oh, actually they'd be quite nice, like sort of framing it a little bit, wouldn't they? I quite like that. Yeah, so I've got lots of bits and pieces. Am I going to be able to open my gel medium, or am I going to have to pause the camera? What do we reckon? Oh, she got it. I'm surprised. I did not see it ending that way. Yeah, so get your stuff out, use it. And you know how I could probably work out how long I've had these, because I bought these from Craftbox UK when they brought one of their first Alice ranges out, and the very first ever Dawn and Julia Create that we did, it was a challenge I set, and it was using Craftbox UK, their Alice range, and we made 3 cards. I bought this at that time. Now I know we've been doing Dawn and Julia Create for well over a year. I don't know, I'm not sure when year 2 is. Dawn's better at the dates for that. But yeah, I know it's been quite some time. So yeah, these have been like squirreled away and not getting used, so do use it. Thing is, when we're buying it, we're feeling inspired by it, so that is the time to use it. Quite often we can go off a product by the time we actually get around to thinking, oh yeah, I'm okay, comfortable with using that. I like that, that's created a little frame. That wasn't at all what I was going for when I pulled it out. Right, so we've got these bits here. I've got some gorgeous bits and pieces, so I will be able to pull more out. This is going to be like the background that will all get gessoed and then coloured. The only trouble is I've only got 2 bits. I really like the way I've created a corner, but now the bottom's going to be lacking a corner, unless I just do something like that. To be honest, we have other bits and bobs going on, so let's not stress about it. Do I want to... pop some bits and pieces along here. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that corner. I've got some gorgeous elements. I've got some lovely MDF mushrooms from Mad Hatters and lots of bits and pieces that I'll be able to use. I've got loads of bottles and trinkets and bits and bobs, so I think we'll be absolutely fine. But I'm just going to actually use all of this because why not? It's sitting in my stash. And oops, I keep opening this up over the canvas. I'm very annoyed with myself because I'm currently filming the last Dawn and Julia Create that you would have seen a fortnight ago, and I've literally, this was sat aside to dry and I've just shoved the packaging in it, so I really didn't want to heat gun this because I didn't want the bubble effect, but now I've just like smudged it with packaging, so I may as well heat gun it, I suppose. Means I'll get a bit more done tonight than I was expecting. Pop that one there. That's it. But what I'll do is let all of this dry and then I will gesso it, and so I'll not be gessoing it till tomorrow most likely. I can't see me managing to do that before then, but I will actually come back to the next stage once it's all done. Once it's all coloured. I have no idea how long this video could be out. Potentially it could be quite long because essentially we're like decorating 2 canvases and making a mini book. So I think we're going to have to put quite a few of the elements on speed up, or you know, we could be here a while. So we've got this, and then I've got a little lock here as well which I might stick on. I mean, I've no idea how the arrangement's going to go with the girls and the embellishments and all of that sort of stuff, so we could end up losing the lock. But I'm just going to stick it it'll become, you should never become so attached to your layer that you can't move forward. Is it, what's his name? Seth Factor. You're only one layer away from, I'm going to pop it there I think, from magic. So I'm going to pop all this down. And the wonderful thing about gel medium is once it's dry, it is immovable. So we'll be able to get in and gesso all of that without causing too much damage or any damage at all. But yeah, that's how that looks now.
That's all dry. And I've got different sprays in blues and purples. That one obviously needs the nozzle cleaned on that. And I'm just going to spray and see what occurs. So yeah, just thought I would see what happens. I've gone for blues and purples because it's sort of the colours that's in the colourway of the Curious Wonders paper pad, and I think it sort of suits Alice. I might knock it back a bit with a bit of a white spray. I've also got lots of different brands, so we'll just see what. Oh, that's nice. I think this is a pretty gritty one. And I've put some mixed media card from Dolly Dimples down, and you never know, some of that backing that gets sprayed, it'll not be wasted. We can always possibly use that in our mini book. I can see me wanting to knock this back with white, but we'll just see how we go right now. I'm just going to let it sit, and I'm only going to spray the one side. Oh, that's quite intense in comparison to the other colours I've chosen. All fun this, isn't it? Who knows what we've got. I think these are Craftbox UK. I don't really know. I think I might have a nozzle issue on this one. Right, so we'll let that set a second. I'm just going to go and grab a white and possibly a pink, and then we'll see where we're at. Okay, so I've got a Delusions pink. This is going to be really bright. So I'm just going to, she says, this is really old. Okay, we'll use, I've got some of these sprays might need cleaning. This is an oxide one, so that's, yeah. So I'm using a combination of oxide ones with different brands, so whether they're all going to work together I don't know, but we'll find out. More blue on. I was sort of adding the pink to get a bit more of a purpley tone. And we'll just sort of have to let it dry and see what it does. So I'm going to knock some of this back with white, I think. I think I'm liking this one. Yeah, I'm liking the softness the added white's giving. This one, I feel like I've got a lot sat on there, so what I'm going to do, and I'm not overly happy with what I've got, so I've got some spare card here, 2 sheets. I'm just going to pull this up. And as I said, sometimes I get my best prints doing this sort of thing. That, that's fab, but that could become a page in the mini book. So yeah, I'm just going to lift. I want to add more colours, but it's just getting too wet. The other thing I can do is just push it from behind the canvas as well, like so. There we go. They're fun, aren't they? They're cool. Yeah, so I'm kind of liking what's going on. I'm going to try and take this big. So you don't want to waste all that lovely ink. So don't be afraid of like putting loads on, because you can mop it up like this, and then also all the, we're not wasting any of it. It'll all get used, and as I said, those possibly will end up in this book, or they might not. But we've got cool backgrounds for another project. Now I'm liking that a lot more now. I like this purple, so I'm going to add some more of that, which was this one. It's got a bit dull over here. That's probably because we've mixed the oxides in. So I'm just going to add a bit more of that. And then I've got this white, which is a bit as a pearlescent white. Move that around. Yeah, I think I like that. I think I also want to add some more of this. Was it that blue? There we go. And how am I feeling about this one? I think we'll get some more of the purple in there. Yep, that's that's all looking quite good, and I think we'll put some of the blue in again. So we've just got this hints of, and then it'll start to do its own thing, and we can start to bring other colour mediums in as well to get the colour we like. We'll probably find as well this will what do you call it, end up going a bit paler. Might just do the blotting thing on this as well. See what we get. Right, so now I'm going to have to wait an age to dry, which is not great because I've not left myself the hugest amount of time, but it's actually not been through procrastination this time. I've had, husband's been in hospital, so look at that. It's random, but I love it. Sometimes your mop-up pages are nicer than anything else. So yeah, well, just sort of try and encourage that to dry naturally, and we'll see what it looks like when we've done. The other thing as well is we can dry brush it a little bit, which will knock the colours back but also build up the texture. So I'll see you when we're ready for the next stage. Okay, so it's been a good few hours since I did all the spraying, so that's it. I have to say, as I went off camera, I managed to get my pink Dilution one to work, so I've added a bit of that to the corners, and I like the fact that I've used all different things. The mica from the white has sort of travelled across, then you've got the chalkiness of the oxides in there and everything, so I think that's looking quite good. It's still, even though I've blasted it a bit with the heat gun, it's still probably a bit too damp to be thinking about the dry brushing, so I'll probably need to leave it a bit longer. What I have also done is just gessoed all of this side, and what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to bring in some of my oxides, and I'm just going to try and add a bit of colour to this. I probably should have got those out before I started filming. Okay, so the reason I didn't put spray on the back is that from doing canvases in the past, I've sort of discovered it seeps through and creates interesting backgrounds. Unfortunately with this one, we're covering most of it up with hopefully what will be the journal side of it. I'm not quite sure how that's all going to work, but we'll find out. But what I want to do is just sort of bring this colour around the sides. I mean, it's dripped down there quite nicely, but just to sort of give it a more cohesive look and have colour coming all round, I just want to sort of do that, and then also bring it onto this part here, and then I'm going to sort of start measuring up for the little, I've got quite a bit on there, so I'm just sort of working with what's there. I'm only kind of going on heavier if I feel it needs it. So I've got quite a bit of blue in this corner, so I'll just maybe switch to the broken china. And yeah, I'm just sort of trying to blend it so it's not white and it looks like it's part of the project. And yeah, once this is a bit drier, I think we will sort of do a little bit of dry brushing and possibly emphasise the edges with some more inks. We'll just see how we go. But I just thought we could be working on the sort of mini book side of it, or the album side of it, whilst we're waiting for it to dry properly. So again, I'm just going to bring some colours onto this. Some of it's leached through, which is good. It's going to give it a more organic, splashy sort of look, which is fabulous. And I'm going to use some of the papers that were the prints and the cast-offs of, you know, when I was blotting it, and also as I was doing it. I'm going to start off making my book with what we've got from those, and then I'm going to add some papers from the Curious Wonders collection. Now, I don't have any purpley oxides, so I'm just going to be mixing my broken china and my Kitsch Flamingo together and seeing how. And we've got the picked raspberry as well. The Kitsch Flamingo's nice. It's the Kitsch Flamingo does have it a slightly more purplier. It's not really purple, but there is a slight purple mix to it. It's one of those ones, if you start splashing it with water, you would find that little bits of purple will break out from it. So it goes really well with these colours here. And that's it. I'm just bringing a bit of it in because I don't want it looking too even, but I just want the colours matching. So we've got that now. I don't believe in measuring, so I'm not going to start anytime soon.
So let's see. The other thing is, because I've done it here, I don't know, because I don't want the mini book to be huge, but I also don't want that to look too gaffy. So we've got, I'm saving that for another day, because I absolutely love that. I don't know what it is about it, but I absolutely love it. So I'm saving that. I mean, I love the other ones too, but I can just foresee. So we've got these ones here, which I think work really well. And then we've got other bits and bobs. So with the different things that we've got, I quite like that one. We'll see what we can do. I definitely love this one. So I'm thinking that what we need to do is, first of all, I am just going to grab a pencil and I'm going to just put a little mark there so that I know to trim that there, and then we'll probably have a score line about there. So I'm going to chop that and score that, and then we'll work from that as a base to build our mini book. So it fits in like that, and then all I'm going to do is just, see, I told you I really don't believe in measuring at all. If I can possibly avoid it, I will. I'm just going to pull that in and do that, and I know that that fits. And then from there we'll work out what we're doing with the rest of it. So now I've got that, let's give that a sharper seam. I should really use a bone folder, but I don't have one, so we'll just use this ruler. Okay, so we've got that, and now we can just piece together some bits and pieces. So I'm going to chop a few of these down to this size, and then we'll and some of the Curious Wonder papers, and I'll come back and we'll build something. So I've just cut down strips of the paper. I think I'll save the Curious Wonders ones for when we are, what's the word, decorating. Brain! Sorry, I've not had much sleep over the past few days because my husband has been in hospital with an infection in his blood. So, yeah, my brain's just not quite in gear. I don't know how straight I've cut all of these, but we can correct this later. So I'm just sort of roughly trying to assemble this. So I don't particularly want to use all of that, so I'm just going to chop this down a little bit. Any joins and things, we can make it look like it belongs and like it's part of it, so that's not a problem at all. So we'll pop that there, and so that one will do that. Okay, so let's glue that down. So as I said, we'll have a join there, but with either a stamp or another bit of paper or something, we can make that look absolutely fine. I'm scanning for my glue. There we go. She says, every time. I have to say, I'm a lot better with this glue, but it's still not this time. Finally got the glue working, so let's get a load of glue on that, and then I'm just going to fold that over. So, is that how I wanted it? So that's going to be sitting in here. No, so we need a full square in the back. So we might be trimming this after, but that's alright, it's not the problem. So we'll pop it all together and then we will see what occurs. So let's get this one done. So I'll do the same. I'm just going to put in a bead of glue down there. Actually, I might flip that over because I kind of want, I don't want all the white bits to be on one side and all the coloured bits to be on the other side. do that. And we will fold over till we're in about the right place. And then we can just score. And then I will fold it back again and score. And then we've got this one finally to finish off with, and let's just make that the exact right size. So we'll pop that just down there, and then we'll trim everything, and hopefully it will sit in our thing. Well, it will eventually. Sorry, I so apologise about the flow of words, and my brain clearly is not engaged, and getting the mouth and the brain and the correct words to all coordinate just is not happening. So I apologise for any inconvenience of which this may cause. Right, so let's pop that there, like so. Right, cool. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to end up having to glue unless, brain. If it would only engage, that would be wonderful. I may have to unfold this and refold it the other way. Right, so we've got that. Probably could do it with thicker scissors for this, but we're just needing to trim this all down so that all is the same size. Do you know, I know this seems like such a palaver, and it's like, well, why didn't you just measure? Because I actually get myself in more of a pickle measuring. I've tried it before, and it's like I get everything out and everything still ends up all out of whack. In fact, sometimes more out of whack than doing it like this. So, and now I just do it in the way that suits me, and don't worry about it. It's like I'm not one of those people that measures, and I've come to accept that about myself. Now, this all might look a bit rough with the scissor marks and stuff, but then when we start inking the edges and getting our decorations on, no one's ever going to know. Now we just, it's a bit rough. It'll look absolutely fine. So sometimes you kind of go through a stage of like, oh my goodness, that looks so handmade and hand done and all of this sort of stuff. Right, I'm going to end up having to trim this as well, I think, so that it's the right size. Okay, now I don't want, so I think I'm going to have to do this that way, because it seems such a waste to have all those beautiful colours, and those are the bits that get glued down, if that makes sense, because that's going to need glued down. Let's check that this fits in here. So that's going to need glued down, and then, yeah, it all fits. Then that bit there will eventually get glued. Got the colours on that. That bit there will eventually get glued to there, and then it will open like so. So yeah, the fact it doesn't fit in there overly precisely is absolutely fine. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to put that is absolutely soaking, that one there. It's still really wet. Right, so I'm just going to trim that a bit more, and then I'm going to pull out my Curious Wonder papers and the Curious Wonder stencils, and yeah, we'll decorate this part of it up. So I'm coming on for this part because I've made a serious error and a serious mistake. I decided to take the easy option out and trim my little book that I just made on my Caterpillar, because it's a great machine and you can go through loads of thicknesses, but I completely misjudged the size of it, and now I've put a great big cut mark in some of these bits of cards. So we've got a few of them. So that bit there, so I've cut in there. And there's a few of them across here now that have got great big slits in them there like that. So what I'm just going to do now is let's just fix that, because if things, and that, I think that's why I decided to come on with it, because if things like that happen, don't panic, you've not undone all your work. I mean, to be honest, what I did do was do what I should have done in the first place. I got my glass mat out and a sharp knife and a steel-edged ruler, and I neatened everything up that way so that all the edges are looking really nice and neat. It's just that I've sort of created these odd holes in a few different places. So all I'm going to do is let's just tape them up, and that'll hold them together. And to be honest, I possibly would have done that with washi tape to make it a bit prettier, but washi tape isn't on the list. So I can't correct it. Under normal circumstances I would have absolutely gone for my washi, but I think that the masking tape is like, I think we can view that as an essential. That's just like double-sided tape. So that's all I've done, and then as we go and decorate this we will fix it. So I don't need to worry about this side, because that side is going to be glued to a canvas and that is going to be glued to a canvas. So we need to sort of correct this and we need to correct this. So it's not too bad. So we've got a couple of the bits that we've actually been torn off that we can add in. So I'm thinking that we'll start off with those, because I'd be adding lots of bits and bobs anyway, to make this more interesting and to make it a booklet. I will also be getting out the Curious Wonders papers, but at the minute I'm just sort of working with all the kind of mop-up pages. And what's great is the fact that these were the sprays that we used to decorate our canvas. This is all just going to perfectly match and it's going to look fabulous together. So it's a great way of doing it. I hadn't even thought about that when I sort of started. But so now we've just covered that bit there. And you would never know. So never kind of sit there and think, oh, I've ruined it. It's always just a creative opportunity. Like I know my daughter says, there's no such things as mistakes in art, they're just sparkly surprises. And I think that's the thing, don't panic. It's an opportunity. Yeah, we're going to have to fix it. Yeah, it might not have been part of your original plan, but that's okay. It gives us an opportunity to be creative. I like using all my little bits, so I'm just going to, I think having a little torn edge there is going to be more interesting than having a straight edge. So I'm just going to put this remainder. I literally do not throw any scraps away. I am absolutely ridiculous. I save them all. So yeah, I'm just, the fact that they're just sat on my desk and they match, it means I'll sort of pull bits and pieces out and just add as and when. But it's all just extra little bits of interest, which is exciting. Right, let's trim this. So yeah, as I said, what I ended up doing was getting my metal edged ruler out and measured it all up. So I mean, that I can do. I can measure up a straight line on a ruler and do that, and it's absolutely fine. It's just, it just seems to be like the initial measuring stage. Just never seem to manage very well with that. So I'm just gonna get these little bits here, add them in. I'm just building up a background. Okay. Let's see. There we go. So we've got that. Right, so we've got this side to fix as well. So I'm sort of seeing what we've got with the splashy leftovers first, and then we can, as I said, get the Curious Wonders papers out. My husband's got music playing on in the other room, so I'm hoping it's not too audible and I'll not be facing copyright issues. Right, so we've got that, and then we can pop that one under there. Let's give it a bit more shape so that it kind of pops in and out. So what I'll do is I'll put this one down first so that we're covering that tape, and then we'll work out where the next one's going after that. I'm trying not to sing along as well, because it's like I want to hum along, but yeah. Let's see, I'm just hoping it's not picking up on the camera. Because I don't want to be in trouble. So as you'll have seen in that last little bit, I've just gone on each of the pages and I have added a bit of distress ink around the edges, used the Curious Wonders stencils just to add a bit of extra detail and sort of tie it all together. So it was the same stencil that we used, you know, that picked up a bit of the design from the mop-up, so that works quite well. And now I've literally gone through my bit box and I've got everything that is either Curious Wonders or Hattie's Clan, and I am just going to have a little play and see what we can put together. I can see me possibly going off camera again, and because we've got Celeste, which is her, she's got a cloud stamp in her stamp set. And I just think that some of the scraps that I've got here, these bits here, I might make a load of clouds out of those. But we'll see how we get on for just now. I mean, part of me wanted to do it, and then part of me was just like, actually, before kind of creating new elements, let's try and get some of these used. But I just know what I'm like, and I know that I'm gonna want some clouds at some point. I do actually have some stamped out, but I thought let's see if we can actually just put a few pages together really quickly, just because we've got our bit box there. And actually my JMC bit box, because I have two, I didn't use two, but now obviously because it's like I have my own product, quite often when I'm doing lives or doing something particularly for my business, it's handy to just have all my designs together. So I have a bit box for that, and it's absolutely overflowing. Quite often, because I've got to do shows and things like that, I have like loads of stuff prepped, and then it just ends up completely overflowing, which is kind of what's happened. Also, we've got little teacups in the Alicia stamp set as well. So I think what I'm going to do is possibly put the basics together, and then we can try. I can always come back and add little extra stamped elements and bits and pieces, but we'll just see how we go with what we've got. I can always just sort of add finishing touches afterwards. So I just thought we'll see how we go, see what occurs. So yeah, I've got different flowers and hearts and bits and bobs from the collection, all sort of together, and it'll feel good to get some of these used up, quite frankly. So oh yeah, I can do that. That's going to satisfy my need for all things dangles. That's still not gone away, that phase. So now I'm putting this book together purely from my bit box and my scraps, because even if I do get bits out and stamp them, I'm stamping onto my scraps. So we're not going to be going into any new page or anything. We're literally just using the scraps, so it'll be a handy way of getting some of this used up, which will be good. So I've got that there, and we can just see how we get on. See how we get on. I'm just really hoping you can't hear what's going on in the background. Just more that I'm like dead concerned that the music's going to come across and the copyright police will be in touch and telling me off. That would be no good. See, I do feel like this one's going to need clouds. I do have some clouds here that we could just fussy cut out, and we've got those ones there. Let me see. Let me see. Actually, when I started doing the stencil work and everything, and it seemed a lot more manageable. It didn't seem quite as overwhelming when I did that. I don't know why. Oh, that's quite good. Yeah, so I think we'll just get the main body of it down, and then I might just get some extra flowers and extra little bits stamped, and we'll see how we get on from there. But yeah, it feels good to be actually hopefully putting a little bit of a dent in the bit box as well, because to be honest it's just getting ridiculously overfull, and I don't really want to be getting a new one because I quite like keeping my bit box manageable. I don't like it because getting too big, because I think that's the whole point. It's trying to keep on top of it so that you use all the different elements. And we've got some of these flowers here that match the ones that we've put over there. So we could have that. Trying to get it so that the pages look like they belong. Like they look good in their own right, but look like they belong. So that's looking quite good there. Happy with that. Definitely want clouds, but we'll come back and deal with that. What I might do is do the doodles and the extra bits and bobs on the speed up. We'll see. At the minute I feel like I'm hoping it's not too difficult to watch. There's a lot of stuff on my desk. I'm just hoping it's not so busy you can't actually focus on what's going on. Sorry if that's the case. It's kind of, but I also sort of need it to hand to be able to use it. To get in here and chop that properly. I have to say, I've really fallen in love with that stencil. I didn't actually use it. I didn't end up doing that show. I think like my dad wasn't well at the time, and Louise Sims did my show for me, so I sort of started playing with it and then never got around to finishing playing with everything. So I've got all these Hatties coloured, and for some reason I've only coloured her hair, which is a bit annoying. I don't know, I like that. I think I'm going to stick with the Hattie's Clan ones maybe, because I like them. What ones have we used? Oh, she's cool. Oh, I like that. And then we've got some black and white paper in the Curious Wonders pad that would match that quite well, I think. Actually, I should have chopped that a bit more. I've just noticed that, so I'm just going to fix that and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my topper, which I'm going to put there, and I've cut out some of the stamped clouds that I already had in my bit box. They're just white, but we can colour them up and we'll see how we get on from there. As I said, I'm trying to use this as an opportunity to, let me see if I can tuck that under a little bit. If I can use elements from mind you, I don't know why I'm bothering, because I'm going to put a strip of this. And so we've got this paper here. So I'm going to try and get some of the stuff that's just the stripe. It's not quite long enough, so we're going to have to patch it together a little bit, but that's fine. We'll make it work. Actually, maybe put another bit up there as well. I'm going to have to tear this side of it though, because it's like so that we've got white core both sides. Otherwise it will bother me. Let's see, because these little things do bother me because I am that annoying. Oh, actually I'm going to put it there rather than there. Right, that works for me. I'm happy. Happy, happy, happy. That there, and I said that I think that's cool because we've got the black in the design there, so that brings that together like so. Bring that over a bit, and then I've got some of these flowers that are in that design too, already cut out, and I've got a little heart here, so we could have a little heart dangle as well, which will appeal to my need for danglage. I just want the one. I just want the one. Oh, one's gonna bother me. I just maybe cut that in half. Yeah, that's fine. I can live with that. I did get bothered by the most random of things. Right, so I've got that one, and this one, and then dangle. And then let's cut this down, and we'll get on to the next page. Okay, so I've got that. Okay, so these toppers are great for this. It's really great for putting a quick card together. Look at her, she's a bit smaller, but that's alright. We can have fun with this. Let's get my black pen. I found my black pen again. I was so delighted. I can't remember where I found it now. Oh, the bottom of my my brushes, because it doesn't go in my brushes obviously, because it's not a brush. It goes in the pen pot. And I'd kind of gone through all my brushes, so I barely had anything left, and there was barely anything in my brush pot, and then I was like, oh look, there it is. I found my pro marker that Dawn so kindly bought me. Right, so I'll pop that there. I'm thinking possibly we could have some of these circles on this one. These three. Yeah, that kind of works. And then we could have a little strip of this down that corner. We're getting there, which is fantabulous. Right, so we've got a little strip there, and that's kind of going to match that, and then we could maybe bring, where did the half of that flower go? We could maybe bring one of these yellow flowers in again as well, just to, because we've got it on there, and then just also to sort of tie those together. Yeah, I think that works. Happy with that. So, put that there. That there. There we go. We're cooking on gas. Right. Let's get that down. Another, mind you, I'll do that and then we chop it down. Oh look, I've got little ones of those as well. Which could possibly work. Maybe there. Yeah, I'll put those there, and then when I get to the doodling stage, those can get turned into dangles. Right, let's chop all of this down so that it's fitting on the page and the aesthetic makes sense, so we can work out what we're doing. Make me drink me. Nah. Curious. That might work. Yeah, I like the contrast of colours for that one. Here's my black pen. Here it is. Right. getting there. It's fabulous. Very happy. It's like when I sat down and it's like I realised how much I've got to do in such a short space of time, I was beginning to feel a bit overwhelmed. I was like, oh, what have I done? Why on earth did I choose this as a challenge? But now I've got going with it. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. Right, so that's us done that side. So now we just got those bits to do. So we'll work on these. I think she'll go quite nicely just there. But I want some more papers. What have we got? These work quite well. Let's just tear. And it feels, as I said, it's feeling so good to actually be getting making a little bit of a dent into the bit box. That feels most marvellous. Yeah, that's good. I like that. And then we'll maybe get some clouds. I've got ones that are here. We'll just maybe pop a bit of ink onto those. I'm so intrigued to see what Dawn's done, because as I said, Dawn tends to take a brief or take what we're supposed to be doing and still do what we're supposed to be doing, but put a really unique twist on it, and then I go, no, I wish I'd done that. Happens to me all the time. Maybe I should have glued that down first. That might have been an idea. Right, pop that down. Put a bit of glue on this now, just in case the first lot's dried. Okay, that's working quite good. Let me just pull up my mat. I should have enough ink left on these brushes. Let me just give that a good going, get some fantabulous colour going on. There must be some yellow on this mat somewhere. That's obviously from another day because we've not used yellow today. Let's get some blue on it as well, see if we can make it purple. I'm wanting deep colours because they're quite funky, bright clouds in the topper. So hopefully we can create the same with these as well. Right. That's fab. So we can just extend these clouds off the page now. Yeah, that pink's wrong. The pink's wrong on that one. We can maybe do it with that, and then we could have one over there like so. I'll have to chop it. Have that there, and then maybe there. Don't like this one. Do I have another one? Yeah, we'll make this one blue. I don't, as much as I think the pink will suit the project, it's just, there's obviously remnants of stuff on the brush that's just ended up not working, so we'll just stick with all blue for just now. That's okay. Yeah, I like that better. It'll be better once we've got a bit of doodling and stuff going on, but we'll sort that later. This is fun. I hope you're having fun watching it. Yeah, so I kind of imagine that Dawn will have done something and then done something completely different with it as well. Because that's what she's like. I'm sure she'll have had fun though, because she loves doing canvases and she loves making mini books. So I think it'll work really well. Oh, I like those. Brings the colour out of the topper. Yeah, we'll do one there, and then a half one here. Like so. There we go. It's all good. Yeah, let's put one there as well. Why not? Why not, indeedly doodly. There we go. Right, so we'll just tidy up this side. Oops, there we go, and we'll tidy up this side as well. Like so, right, there we go. Right, so we've got this one. I'm just having a flick through the toppers. What have we got? That one's kind of cute, like that. Okay, what are we going to do in the background? I actually got a load of teacups and a stamp, which might work. I feel like I've run out of embellishment type, you know, like the odds and ends. Maybe let's see what I've got on the papers. Just to sort of tie it together a little bit, just to give a bit of interest to the page. Actually, the pink flowers might work on this side. Not the flowers, pink clouds. They were wrong on that page, but they might work on this one. Possibly. Yeah, I think so. I think if we put a little bit of black along the edge of this so that it stands out a little bit. Like so. I think those clouds might be alright. I'm not loving them, but I can see that they'll work. But I think if I get my white pen out when we're at the doodle stage and sort of doodle into them so that we knock the sort of funny pink look out. And I might also stamp some teacups when we're at that stage as well. But at the minute I'm just sort of trying to get the base of everything down and then see how we go from there. I think I preferred that slightly lower. There we go. Now we've got a funny sort of line here because we had a join just there. We might hide that. I might be able to hide that with doodles actually. Right, where did my other pink cloud go? Yeah, I think that's alright. I'm trying so hard not to sort of dip into anything else. So not that that's essential, it's just that it just feels good to be using stuff up. There we go, I've got a tiny bit of that which matches that, which I might just be able to sort of slot behind one of these bits just to... Okay, once again, if there was a dodgy edit there, I am sorry. I've got the same issue of the fact that we're on this different SD card and it doesn't have as much time available for recording. So my husband is pulling all the drawers apart trying to find the other one, but there you go. So far it has not been located. Right, so I'm just having a little look at what papers we've got, because we've got a little bit of green coming in and a bit of red, and there's nothing of that in the background. So let's just see if we can bring some. Actually, this bit might be better. The writing will be sideways, but that's alright, we can live with that. It's just I want to sort of tone in the topper with the background. I want to see how we get on when we do that. So yeah, that looks a bit better. I'm just wondering whether to... No, I'll have it there. I'll have it there. I'm just going to move that up a little bit so that we don't have the bit of the flower. On this occasion I don't particularly want it. I do want another torn edge though, because we've got this bit here and I'm just thinking it would suit it better if we had a torn edge covering it. It doesn't need a huge bit, but just this straight bit here is bothering me somewhat. So maybe we could do something along those lines. Yeah, just, yeah. It was just bothering me having a straight edge just there. I didn't want it. So we'll just, that's the thing, if something bothers you, you just have a little fiddle till it doesn't bother you anymore. Right, so we'll pop that there. So that we've lost our harsh straight edge. And then we'll pop this one down as well. And then our topper down. And then we'll work out how we're gonna bring it together with embellishments and whatnots. I feel this would go quite nice on this page. The colours are quite nice. Mind you, I don't really want to hide in that green that I've literally just put down there. That'd be a bit daft. What have we got? What have we got? Let me put that on that page. That maybe work there. I'm actually just going to do that. What I'm going to do is give the, I mean I don't know what else is going on that page just now, but I'm going to give that a straight edge. And just pop that there while I'm thinking about it. And this is the thing, we don't need to overthink or know what's happening. It just becomes part of the page, and we work that out when we get over there. Sometimes we can overthink a project far too much. Right. Put that just there. There we go, and we'll pop this down. But yeah, I'm quite pleased how quickly this has come together. I mean, it still might not be an overly quick video to watch, but considering we're on sort of like the 7th page, 7th journal page, that's quite quick for me to put that many journal pages together in such a short space of time. We're still getting a bit of a line join thing going on there, so I'm just tearing another tiny little bit, and I will just fix that by doing that. There we go, like so. It's all sorted. Right, just trying to see what we have available. I still have some of these flowers, but they're not cut out yet. So I could cut some of those if I think they would go. Let's work out what's happening over here. Oh, I like that one. Oh, we could have two. Yeah, I quite like that. So this is from the original Curious Wonders paper pad. So we have these little toppers here, and then this one is from the Hattie's Clan. So although they're from two different kits, they do go together really, really well. I might put that one over there actually, because that design, the design on that side is kind of white anyway, so we're not going to be losing much of the feature area, if that makes sense. So if we do that like that, I think that kind of works. Oops. And then, as I said, I just need to work out, well, I'll maybe go off camera and just cut some of these flowers out that we've got, because I've kind of used all the ones that I'd already got cut out, which was kind of the point, so that's good, because it means we've gone through it. I don't know if these work. I mean, it might bring the red in, I suppose, as soon as they're already cut out. Or we have, we've got another house there. Which might work. Decision. No, because we've got two houses there. Yeah, I think let's bring a house over here. I'm going to do it there. So it kind of works with that one there. So I'm just going to cut that. That's not 100% straight, but it'll do. And we'll do that. Why not? And as I said, it means we're getting all these little bits used up, which is just fabulous. Right, I'm thinking that these yellow ones might be better than those ones, although possibly the pink from the paper. So yeah, I'm going to cut out some of these flowers from, just again, from the scraps that are on my desk, just to sort of decorate this up, and then we will work out what we're doing from there. As well, that goes with the colourways, and I like the fact it says we're all mad here, and there's more than one of them. More than one of the girls, because this is meant to be an Alice theme project, but although the Hattie's Clan collection, they were sort of designed to be Alice themed if you wanted them to be, but they were also sort of standalone as well. They don't need to be Alice at all in the slightest, but you can see how easily you can make them slightly Alice themed. Right, so we'll pop that there. And yeah, I'll be back in a minute. So I did just stick down a flower there and there, and I stuck some just here and one there, and then I've added this little bit that was on my desk, and I've tidied up the desk somewhat. And what I'm going to do now is I have my Jane Davenport pens and my big black pen and a pile of stamps that are the Curious Wonders ones, and what I'm just going to do now is I'm going to go around everything with a black line. I'm going to do my doodling and maybe stamp the odd little element here and there to try and pull it all together, but like watching me just doodle loads is probably going to be very repetitive, so I'm just going to pop you on fast forward while I do that part. So I think that's the mini book section of the project done. I'm happy with how that is looking. So I'm just going to pop that to the side a second. I'm not going to do much to this. This is the back cover, and I don't particularly need, because we'll have a lot of detail on the front, so I don't feel like I need a huge amount of detail on this. I am just going to attempt to give it a quick dry brush, just to bring out some of that gorgeous detail and texture. It's still quite damp. Did it hours and hours ago now. It's still quite damp, so it should be entertaining when we're trying to do the front part of it, because that got a lot more spray on it. And we've got a lot more to do to that, so we'll see how we go. I'm trying really hard not to go I was trying really hard not to do that. That's fine. I'll make it work. I'll just scuffle it in. It's not a problem. I'm just trying to bring out the texture of this. So I think that is most likely has done that. I may at some point put some silver gilding wax on this as well. I'm just trying to scruffle a bit more of the white in, even though there's no sort of stencil detail on here, just to get a bit of the texture, just to make it a bit more interesting. As I said, I may put a bit of silver gilding wax on that. I think I'm having fun with technology today. So that time it was the battery running out, not the SD card, the battery. Right, I'm just going to take a little bit of the silver and I'm going to pop, oh that's nice. Let's give it a nice metallic look feel, and what is fabulous about this is it's furniture grade, so it lasts forever. Not only that, you can buff it, and I think that our Donny Dawn will use some of this because I know she's made a recent purchase of Pebble Gilding Wax because she sent me a wee picture, and I think she might just want to have a little play. So I'm guessing, because the mediums we're allowed, we've got carte blanche regards the mediums, so I reckon that she will pop a little bit of her Pebble in there. So I'm going to put it quite heavy in the corner here and possibly quite heavy in the corner up there, and then just have it delicately on the rest of the canvas. Again, it's just little details just to sort of pick up the texture, pick up the detail, add another layer of interest. For me, that's what mixed media is all about. It's all about sort of adding as much interest to it, so that you sort of look at it, but then you find yourself looking at it again, but seeing something different to what you saw before. You know, that you can look at a project and just, it's not like, oh yeah, that's nice. It's like, oh, and then you like, oh yeah, I hadn't seen that before, and that's definitely what I like. I like the layering. I've ended up with sort of streaky bits as well. I'm not actually overly bothered by that. I think that just sort of adds to it. I quite often sort of put lines in my work to draw the eye in, so we've done it here sort of accidentally, but we've done it here as well, so that's all cool. So I'll get that on there, and then I will build up this corner quite heavy, like we have on the bottom corner as well. Okay, so I think that's probably as, and I'm going to leave that quite plain because it's almost like it's the back. Sorry, it's almost like it's the back of the book. So that's fine. I'm going to have my front highly embellished. I know on the ones that I saw, and I will link it, it'll be in the description box below because it's important to give credit for ideas and things like that. She does reverse canvas upon reverse canvas, which I think I will try. I just want to do it this way on this occasion. Right, so I've got that. Let's get my mini book. So that's going to fit in there like so. I might decorate up this in a little bit to make it slightly more interesting. I'm going to just see how that goes. So let's just grab, oh, it's this one. I was going to use gel medium, but I think this will be strong enough if I put enough of it on. Gel medium is just going to take slightly longer to dry. Yeah, and I'm not completely sure how much it will seep through to the back, which I'm obviously not overly keen on either. So I am just going to put masses, masses of this stuff on. If I can get it to come out fast enough and it doesn't sort of dry on me as I'm pouring more out. Let's get loads on. This is quite thick card, so even if I put loads on, it's not going to seep through to my project. Well, on the card side anyway. I don't know whether it'll go through on the canvas. And if it does, we will deal with it. Right, so let's get that in there like so. Butt it against that edge. I'm just pushing down with my cloth because I'm aware that I've just used gilding wax on my hands and I don't really want to end up putting silver marks where I don't want them. So let's just pop that in there and let that stick, and hopefully that sticks fine. If it doesn't, then we'll pull it up and we'll use gel medium. But hopefully that should do the trick. So I'm just going to pop that aside now, and we will focus on decorating this part here now. So we've got this bit here, which is going to sit there like so, like that, and then attach to that. But I'm going to decorate this all up first, and then that's still really damp, and then we will work out about attaching and stuff like that. So I'm just going to give this a waft with my heat gun, then we'll do some dry brushing, and I think I'm going to have to sort of gel medium parts of it because I've got lots of embellishments I want to pile into here. So we will sort that anyway in a little moment. Okay, so I've given that a waft with the old heat gun, and I've made myself a cup of tea because I feel like my throat's going dry. I've been talking that much. And I'm going to do exactly the same as we did with the back. I'm just going to do a little bit of dry brushing just to bring out this fabulous texture that we've got going on. And then I'm going to use the silver again as well. And then I have coloured up our Alicia. I did that this morning. Actually, I didn't do that on, because I went to start making this first thing this morning, and all of my batteries for my camera were dead. So I coloured up Alicia, and she's actually on it as a reel on my Instagram, so I can, I think my Instagram details are there below. They should be. So if you want to check, if you're interested to see how I coloured her up, I've got a little 1 minute speed up video on my Instagram, so I've done that as a reel. So partly because this video is going to probably be really long as it is, so it was something that could be covered elsewhere. So I don't often colour on camera anyway, but occasionally. So seeing as I was wanting to I was trying to create content as well. We're going away on Monday. It was supposed to be all of us, but it's now just going to be myself and my daughter, because my husband's still recovering, and he's got the nurses coming out to see him on Wednesday, so he might join us Thursday, depending on how that appointment goes, but we will wait and see. So yeah, I was kind of wanting to try and create content for both YouTube while I'm away, although I do appreciate I haven't been making as much as I should have been. It's been a tad busy. And yeah, I've been working on some exciting stuff, ready to come up after the holidays and stuff like that, at school holidays, and we've obviously dealt with illness and all that sort of stuff. Anywho, I'm waffling here, and all I was trying to say was that if you're particularly interested to see how I coloured her up, it is available on my Instagram. So I do tend to do different things on different platforms. I'm on Facebook, and normally on a Monday we have a Facebook Live every Monday night. I do have some of the girls doing it for me over the next couple of weeks with being away. So Dawn's doing one of the weeks, and Suzanne is doing another week. So a bit of difference for you there, so that'd be nice. So we have that every Monday night on my Facebook page. I do lots of stuff on Instagram. I try and put a post up every day on Instagram. Occasionally I miss, but in general I do manage a post every day, so we have all sorts of stuff going on, and I do a lot of behind the scenes in my stories and things like that. So if you're interested in what life's like behind the scenes. Now on my website I've got a blog as well, which I'm keeping up to date. I'm also on TikTok. I'm still learning that though. I'm not as used to what I'm doing on TikTok. I'm getting there. So yeah, I'm everywhere. So, but I do try and share different things on the different platforms, so it's not like if you follow me on one. I mean, some of the stuff does get repeated, I'm not going to lie, because I'm not a machine and I can't manage to do I can't manage to make endless content. So some of it, there is a bit of a crossover. But there's also bits that are only seen on that platform as well, if that makes sense. Right, so I think let's get the frame emphasised with this. So we'll do the inside and the outside of the frame. And our Dawn has her own Facebook group as well. She has lots of things going on in her Facebook group. She has like a challenge every month. So she's got her challenge, and then I think there's a prize at the end of every month for all those that enter the challenge. Like a winner will be chosen out of all the entries, and lots of fun going on in her group there as well. So it's worth checking that out. Right, so that's me sort of done the inside of the frame, and then let's get the outer edge of the frame as well. And we've got all these staples and things going on, which is cool. It adds texture, but I do just feel we need to sort of glam it up a little bit as well. So let's do that with the silver. I always find with this stuff it gets stuck in my nails. There we go. So I'm just going to probably go quite heavy-handed on the frame part of it, but we'll maybe go a bit lighter on the inside. Well, I've got lots more stuff. I mean, I don't exactly know, but I know that my box is teeming with Alice in Wonderland themed embellishments, because anything with an Alice theme, I am absolute like there buying it whether I need it or not. And then because I love the Alice in Wonderland theme, I tend to squirrel it away and never use it, which is just ridiculous. You have to absolutely use your products. So this is also partly why I did this challenge. I did this challenge because I knew, as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted to make one, and I never get round to doing half the ideas that are in my head. But if I put them into a Dawn and Julia Create, it like gives me, I have to do it, because I have to do it for when we're uploading, so it makes me do it. So quite often if there's something that I really want to do or to try, I will turn it into a Dawn and Julia Create, because I know that I know it'll get done that way. That's quite good. Right, I'm going to go quite heavy-handed. Okay, once again we may be dealing with a dodgy edit, because as I said, this camera doesn't like, this SD card doesn't like to film for more than about 10 minutes without deciding it's full. So there you go. I'm sure I will eventually finish this project. That would be marvellous. It's feeling a bit of a never-ending one at the minute. Right, okay. So, as I said, I'm putting it quite heavy on this part of the frame here. That's going to need, and then I'm just going to, with what's left, just emphasise some of this. As I said, we're going to have a lot more going on here. So this is just me sort of starting the background here, just creating a bit of interest and bits and bobs, and we will see what occurs in a bit. Right, I just need to dig that. I ended up with a big chunky bit in there which we didn't need. I'm just going to take that out with my scissors, and then again we can give this a buff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my hands, because they're absolutely clarted now in silver gilding wax. And I am going to look in my box for Alice in Wonderland themed embellishments, and also I coloured it our Alicia in this morning, as I was mentioning earlier. So I'm going to cut her out and get her ready to go, and then we can assemble it. Now I'm imagining a lot of the embellishments that I have are sort of heavier ones, they're like glass ones and things like that, so I'm imagining that we're going to have to sort of put it down with gel medium, and then we will be like finishing off this project tomorrow. Now hopefully that should give me time to still finish it, and well, I've kind of damaged the chipboard there, it's because it's still wet. But never mind, we'll probably be covering a lot of that anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Yeah, so we'll sort that later. It's because it's still slightly damp. So I will be back in a minute anyway. Okay, so I have pulled out my embellishments, of which I have many. Now I was originally going to cut her out and pop her there, and I don't know whether to still do that or whether to have her there or whether to frame her, or maybe I could frame a bit of paper and have her. See, I don't know whether to do that. I'm quite tempted to do that, something like that in the corner. The trouble is I am going to have to sort of, if whatever I do, I am going to have to, if I want them painted, I will have to do that separately and then add it. But then we've got our little bottles and things, and I've got a clock. I've also got this clock here, which is a bit cool. So we've got this gorgeous thing here. See, this is the thing, it's absolutely stunning. And part of me doesn't want to use it. I want to save it, but at the same time, it's like, what's the point of it? Oh, I can take the chain off. I can take the chain off. I think, yeah. See, but it's beautiful front and back. So I've got decisions. Oh, I've also got these clocks. And I've got these ones with a little white rabbit on. We've got keys. We've got keys and clocks. I've got this as well. And I've got these. So, yeah. We will have to see, I think. So we could do something like this. As I said, what I'm going to have to probably do is paint all of these separate and then put them on, because I've not gone for painting them all up and then because I've not gone for painting them all up first, we're going to have to do it separate, but that's because I did sort of want the colours and the various things that we've got. So we've got these gorgeous clocks as well, which are just adorable. So we've got those, and then I've got these little teapots, which if I was to use, I would most likely want to sort of paint them and maybe put a bit of gilding wax on. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go with that, partly because I don't have to fussy cut it out. So I think what I'm going to have to do is, so you're not watching me paint it all white, I'm going to paint these up, the things that I want painted, and then I will come back when we're assembling it and arranging it all, and then that'll probably be as far as we get tonight. So I will see you in a moment. So I think I've got all the various elements sort of together. I will explain what I have done with each of them as I am sticking them down, and we can just sort of arrange it together. If you're hearing noise through there, that's my husband singing. He's clearly feeling a bit better. Either that, he's delirious on antibiotics and painkillers. Right, so we'll pop that there, because that's just to give a little bit of dimension. Well, just to give that something to sit on. So there's a bit of security, and that's going to form my basis. I'm almost at the bottom of this gel medium, but I do have another one. So it'd be quite good if we use this one up, because then that's something else used up. Right, so I'm going to go that. I've not done anything to these bottles, but I'm just going to stick them down. I don't want too much on this one because there is a bit of glitter in it, so we should manage to disguise the fact that there's something in there. Pop them there. Okay. Okay, now I've got these resin embellishments that are available in my shop. These were actually part of my very first launch when I did the Curious Wonders collection, and I had them specially made, so they're handmade by a woman in Scotland. And I saw her work and then asked her, could you make me some stuff? And they were absolutely amazing. But because previously I was on Etsy, I couldn't sell them because they weren't handmade by me. So yeah, they're now available in my shop, which is cool. Right, so I'm going to stick those down. So these are resin embellishments. Obviously if you've got the moulds you can make them yourself with resin. And I think these are alcohol inks in these. I know she puts a bit of white in with the alcohol inks to make them a bit more vibrant, because obviously if your resin's clear and it's going to look clear, you're going to lose the colour a little bit. But if you have the white, it gives it something to sit against, which provides the colour, which is a bit cool. On this frame here, what I did was I painted it white with the gesso, and then I used the same colours that we've been using, the picked raspberry and the broken china, and I sort of colour tinted the back layer of it. The top layer I have put silver on the edge of it, but I've left the playing cards white. Okay, so here at this clock I've painted that, where do I want this? Sit on there okay. Yeah, I'll try and make it sit on there okay. Let's hopefully if I get a big enough lump of gel medium. Actually, a lot of this gel medium's gone really solid, so it's like got big dry lumps in it. Right. So this was a little wooden embellishment that I got from the Works once upon a time. So this has been painted white with white gesso, and then I've put my silver gilding wax. I've kind of gone for silver because a lot of the accessories are silver already, so we've gone for that. We've got lots of different shades going on, but what I might do later is do a whole load of dry brushing and see how that affects things there. Now let me see, I'm sure. Oops, I did have this sort of laid out and now it feels different to how I had it because I wasn't wanting to faff too much. Let me see. Yeah, I think I had this down here. Hang on. I can always move some of that. I was going to get some, souffle on eventually anyway, so if I end up making a mark, it's fine. We'll sort it. I think I had it more like so. It's just that I know the way I had it, I was really quite pleased with it. Okay. Which means if we bring this down here, and then I think this clock probably came. And we'll keep that there because we've got quite a lot of gel medium. I've got lots of bits and pieces, so we're all good. We're all good. Right, I've got this clock here because I was going to... Don't be afraid to layer embellishment on top of embellishment. I think that gives a far more interesting look to your project anyway, if you're confident enough to do that. I'm going to get my little clock, stick this on top of this here. And this is what's cool about doing a reverse canvas, is we've got this depth to have a little play in, which is lovely. Right, I've got these stacked teacups, which again are gorgeous embellishment that I bought ages ago and have never used because I've been hoarding it. This is a little plastic teacup, but obviously I didn't want it looking plastic next to all these gorgeous metal embellishments, so what I have done is that got painted with white gesso, and then we've got the gilding wax on that too. There we go. And then I think we just painted 2 of the keys, but I have a feeling I might need to do another one. Because I think I had... Okay, I'm just going to grab a brush and just pick up some of this gel medium that's spare. As I said, I am planning on coming in with a bit of souffle, so if it causes problems there, that's fine. I think I want a key here as well. And now I need to decide whether I want one up there. This is where I wish I was doing a live, because I could ask you and see, should I put one there? I kind of get used to that. I do that many lives now that I get used to being able to ask you and say, should I put this here? And when I'm feeling a bit like I don't really know what I'm doing. Now I might tie all of this together with a bit of dry brushing later, just to sort of merge the 2 different types of silvers together. So we might do that. I like that. This is bringing the eye down, so that's good. I'm just gonna, let's get rid of, I'm just going to try and decide, do I want another key? So we could have, maybe not one quite that big, but we could have another key. I think possibly so. And I'm just wondering whether I might just pop a few gems or cabochons or something along. Maybe just, I might just fill in a few gems. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go off, colour those, grab the gems, and then I'll pop the souffle on, and then that'll be us for the night. Okay, I'm loving it. I've pulled out my aquamarine souffle and the limited edition pink souffle. I checked them against my colour swatches, and I think the colours go really well with the colours that we've got in the background. Oh. Now, obviously don't have quite as much movement as I would have liked because I'm still waiting for everything to dry. So I'm just going to try and fill some of these places. Now this will dry clear because I'm not going to heat it. If you heat it, you can end up with a slight milkiness, which is fine if you want it, but I don't on this occasion. I want it to dry clear, and I've got to wait for the gel medium and stuff to dry anyway. I would have liked to have been able to sort of tip the project up a little bit. Made it slightly easier, but we're gonna struggle to do that. Right, I'm also just going to loosely paint some on this clock just because the silver of this looks quite dull in comparison to the silver of that one there. So let's just add a bit of a sparkle to spice that up a little bit. As I said, I'm probably do some dry brushing. What would have probably worked well is getting some gilding flakes out, but I really just couldn't be bothered, to be honest. So yeah, I just couldn't be bothered getting that out as well. So we've gone with this. Actually, I can see what's going on better from this angle, so I'm just going to put in quite a bit. It's going to create a bit of a base. I may come in and do shadowing tomorrow, depending on how it's all looking. I might feel that I want to do that, but at this point in time I just don't know. We will just see what occurs. But right now I'm just sort of trying to add little bits of sparkle here and there just for a bit more interest because I can. I'm still sticking, so far I've just put the aquamarine on. The pink will suit the project as well, but maybe up in this top corner where we've got some more pink. I'm not putting it on too thick here, but again this is just to sort of make, because we've got this beautiful feature here of the playing card symbols. and because everything's ended up silver, I'm just thinking that adding a little bit of sparkle detail will be interesting. Now, I'll be interested to see whether Dawn has used her souffles. If you'd asked me a few weeks ago, I'd have said absolutely, because we both bought all of them and we're both a tad addicted by the souffles. But I don't know, I feel like, mind you, I've not, to be honest, I'm behind with watching everybody's videos. I feel awful about it. I know I'm behind because I'm not getting nearly as much engagement on my channel as I used to. So I'm clearly behind watching everyone else's videos, so I'm sorry about that. But hopefully life will eventually be get slightly less busy. I keep telling myself that, but you know, I'm just noticing gaps in this and sort of going on, making sure that we don't have any. Yeah, so I mean, I am a bit behind in watching some of Dawn's videos, but in the ones that I have watched, I've not seen her use souffle recently. So I don't know, I think that one might be quite a difficult one to call, to be honest. Let's just pop, I just think where we've got a few different embellishments together, just a little bit of sparkle tying the sections together could be quite nice. This looks a bit random at the minute, but when it dries it'll just be this clear, it'll be clear and there'll just be a ton of sparkle. I mean, I'm seeing bits of the sparkle in the light now, but not masses of it. It'll, as I said, become far more apparent once it's dry. So we're getting all that done. So I've got an interesting question for you. Well, it's maybe not that interesting, but obviously with this particular project I've had to fast forward sections, I've missed sections, and what I always sort of doubt within myself was, did I fast forward the right bits? Did I sort of, the bits that were a bit repetitive and boring, have I called that right? I mean, if you're still watching by now, if you are, well done, because it's well and truly going to be quite far into the video. Or is there bits that I missed that you're like, oh, actually I would have quite liked to have seen that she did that, and bits that I've kept in that you would have been, do you know what, that could have been fast forwarded. Wasn't overly interesting. Because, yeah, I'd like to know if I'm getting it right. So we've got that there. I'm feeling now that I'm on this bit, that this bit could be a bit that should have been fast forwarded. I think that's why I was asking, because an element of doubt is just niggled in there. Right, and I think we'll pop just a little bit of sparkle in this corner too. But what I might do is let's get some of the pink out now. So I'm going to do that and give my brush a little wipe, just so that we've got a bit of contrast, and then I'll be interested to see what this all looks like in the morning. So in the morning we might just need to be doing a little bit of shadowing, a little bit of dry brushing, just to sort of put, not a lot to be honest, because I don't really want to knock it back. I'm loving the bright colours of these, I love the contrast of it all, but like some of the silver bits might just need knocked back a tiny little bit, and I may need a little bit of shadowing, just for my own need. And then once we've done that, pretty much all we need to do is to glue it to the other bit, the mini book part, and just to have a check. I think we might need to do something with the frame part of the inside of the book, just to make it look a bit more interesting, but I don't think that's going to require too much. Just maybe a bit of stamping or something like that, or shadowing, just something. Right, so I'm putting the pink up here again. This is just to sort of create both edges of the frame, and I don't have a huge amount of interest going on up here. I've got the delicate little bits, but that's just I'm just going to try and create a tad more interest with this, and then I might just paint some of this onto these ones here, just to see what occurs. We're not going to know till it's dry. It's one of those exciting things that once it's dry we'll know if this is any good. Hopefully it should be, and I might just pop a little bit of pink and down here as well, just to sort of mix it up a little bit, because why not? And so this is me sort of trying to create a grounding to it. I don't know if it's overly successful. We will find out. It remains to be seen. There we go. Just pop in some bits and bobs around, and I think that's possibly us to where this needs to be. So that's how that's looking there. And then tomorrow, as I said, a bit of dry brushing, and we just attach this part here to the back of this. As I say, because when we're opening it up we're going to be seeing this, I'm just wondering whether we might need to just, let's have a little play actually. I think possibly if I've got a silver ink pad and one of the stamps, let me just grab one. To be honest, if I had thought about this sooner I would have maybe have used embossing, but I don't particularly want to get the embossing powder now and then end up with loose bits of the powder falling through into the project that's not showing up overly much. So let's do that in black then, because that'll stand out then. I just feel it needs a little bit of interest. Let's just stamp it in black. It's fine, just needs a bit of, it's just a bit plain, and considering we're going to be seeing it with the mini book, just feel like it's needing a bit of something. So just to make it a bit more interesting. That works quite well. And then what I could do is I'll bring this ink pad in and just drag it, and let's just waft this because VersaFine Clear just takes a moment to dry. So I'll do that, and then I'll get a bit of interest with the ink pad, and then if it's not predominant enough, I am tired, I really need my bed. I can get the gilding wax out. Actually, that's looking like it might have just done the trick. It's just to make it look slightly less known. It was a bit nondescript, and when you've got this gorgeous frame going on and then fabulous mini book, you don't want a little bit of section that's got nothing going on just to sort of detract from it a little bit. I think that works quite well. Where's the and what I could do as well, as soon as we've got the souffle, I could just paint a little bit of that on while I'm at it. Not a lot, just a little bit on some of the edges. And that just might give it a bit of, oh, there's little hearts in there. I didn't realise when I was putting it on in clumps. So let's just pop that there. And that's just added, just made it a tad more interesting when we open the book. Yeah, I should do, I'm spreading some of the VersaFine Clear ink because, you know, I've not let it dry properly. But hopefully it's all just going to add to the look. I'll just put that on a bit heavier. I don't want it too heavy because I need to be able to open the book. Okay, yeah, I think that might have just done something to make it a bit more interesting at least. And then, as I said, not much to do. Probably just as well. I hate to think where we are in the stream of filming, but there we go. I am going to have a cup of tea and go to bed. It's actually quite early, but it's about 9:30, but I definitely need my bed. I'm very tired. So I will be back with you in the morning. I will see you soon. Bye. Okay, so we're all dry. I'm absolutely loving this. Even if this was just a canvas, I would be completely in love with it. And the fact that we've got a whole mini book with it as well. So I'm looking at it and actually decided I don't want to do any dry brushing. But I do think I want to do a tiny bit of shadowing. So I have got my Inktense pencils. I've got a dusky purple and mauve. And I don't even know that I want to do everything. I think I'm going to leave this bit. I want to do round this key here. Now we've got gel medium that's leaked out, so how effective we're going to be with this I don't know, but we will just do what we can. I'm hoping not to get the canvas too wet because I really do need to be sticking it together tonight so that I can just be finishing off the project and getting this video all edited ready for you to watch at the designated time. So but I do think that this little arrangement that we've got going on here, that I would quite like to emphasise that with a little bit of shadow. See, already I think that looks vastly improved. So I'm almost dry brushing it. I'm not, because it's much wetter than it would, but I'm not kind of going in with as much water as normal, partly because of the surface that I'm working on. I don't think it's going to flow the same as it would on a journal page, and partly because, as I said, I don't really want to soak the whole thing, but I do think that that is making a difference. Let me just try. That one's the lighter purple, this is the darker one. I don't know whether to add some of the slightly darker one as well. See if that, well, that's a bit brighter actually. I think it's darker and brighter. So my daughter is currently about to blast some music and the shadowing is quite repetitive, so I'm just going to pop you on fast forward while I do the shadowing. Okay, so that's the shadowing all done. So we just need to attach this canvas to the mini book. So I think what I'm going to do is just get a load of glue on the back of this, and we will stick it down and see how we get on. I have to say I'm absolutely loving this project. Part of me kind of wishes I'd stuck to the sort of original concept, which was sort of reverse canvas either side. But in my head, because it was Alice in Wonderland, I wanted it to look more like a book. So that's why I wanted the back cover to be a bit more book-like. But yeah, that's just the way it's gone. Right, so I want to try and, I just want to position this right. So how we get on with this, I'm not quite sure. Yeah. So now that that's in the right place, I can push that down. So we've got that, and then it opens like so, or like so, once it's stuck down properly. So let's just, I'll just readdress the stickiness. That's probably because I was trying to open it far too soon. So I'm just going to get the glue, and we'll do that again, and then I'm going to let it dry, clean my desk, and then come back and show you what we did. But it was looking good. So I'm just trying to get plenty of glue on this, and then I'll do the same as I did before. I'm just going to pop that there. So it's just that I want to make sure that it's in the right place. So I'm just going to, there we go. So just going to stick that down, make sure that's all stuck, and as I said, I will get back to you when it's good to go and that we can have a proper look at it. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so that is us all finished. I hope you have enjoyed watching this process. It's been fun to make. It's been something I've never made before, so thoroughly enjoyed it. I can see a lot of these canvas albums in my future because I've thoroughly enjoyed making it, and I can absolutely see me doing it again. So that is the front cover there. Then it opens and we have the album there. It's kind of like so, and then we can reverse it. I've kept the back quite plain, and then we've got that side there. So yeah, I had lots of fun doing this, and I hope it's provided a little bit of inspiration for you anyway. I know Dawn will have smashed it, she always does. I can't wait to see her take on it, and yeah, so please do, if you have enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing. Please jump over and see what our lovely Dawn has done, and I will be back with some more crafty goodness for you very, very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.